Keeping taxes as low as possible is one way that we try to make create an environment that's good for business. But a big part of it is that we invest heavily in economic development. We have an agency called Invest Ottawa that receives funding from the city every year, and I'm the co-chair along with a member of the community of Invest Ottawa. And we work with Invest Ottawa, we work with Ottawa Tourism, we work with the Ottawa Board of Trade. We work with all the business organizations, the BIAs, everyone to support their work and collaborate with them to create an environment that's really good for business. And we've been really, really successful in the past few years at attracting more investment to Ottawa, attracting more companies to Ottawa, attracting more events to Ottawa, doing things like reestablishing some of the direct flights that had been taken away during COVID. We now have a direct flight to Paris, a direct flight to London, more direct flights to the United States. That's really good for business. So all of those kinds of things that create a climate where businesses can succeed.
No, that's really interesting. And I guess with your background in small business, you understand that small businesses are the heart of a city. And that, to me, that's where all the cool products are, right? That's where you're going to find the cool Shopify products, or they're the ones, the small business owners are the ones sponsoring your local hockey league or baseball league. And so how have you specifically helped the city better understand the small business owner needs?
Yeah, I go around and talk to business owners all the time. I go to the Byward Market, I go to Orleans, I go to Canada, I go to some of the rural villages like Manotick and Richmond and places like that. And I talk to business owners all the time about what they're encountering and how we can help them. And I bring that feedback back to the city and share it with the staff at the city. And again, I think a lot of it is about eliminating red tape, keeping things simple. If somebody has to apply for a permit, it shouldn't take too long. It shouldn't cost too much. Obviously, we have to recover our costs. That's just part of the process. But and creating an environment where we're supporting business and we're finding solutions for businesses rather than putting up obstacles. And, again, a big part of that is our partnership with all these other organizations like Invest Ottawa, Ottawa Tourism, the Board of Trade, and so on, to make sure that we're listening to the needs of the business community and acting on them.
Okay, no, that's fair. And I guess the budget for the city is around $5 billion, right? And so the truth is there's been a lot of small business owners that have felt that the supports for programs are inadequate compared to other Canadian municipalities. And the fact is that the Ottawa Citizen reported about an open letter where there was 100 small business owners who had signed, and it stated that there was, quote unquote, a fundamental failure on the part of the City of Ottawa to provide small business with the necessary opportunities, supports, and grants. And I know that you've said that you are, quote unquote, attuned to their concerns and as an entrepreneur, right? And so you haven't exactly confirmed if the city will have a business advisory forum, which the open letter suggested. Do you feel that you're doing enough at the city?
We can always do more, and we're always listening to business owners. And again, that's why there are organizations like Invest Ottawa. We invest millions of dollars a year in Invest Ottawa to give them the tools to support the business community. And rather than that being a city department with a bunch of bureaucrats, it's an arm's length organization that leverages that investment, gets investment from other levels of government, from the private sector. The board is mostly people from the community, not people from City Hall, except for me. And the strategy is one that is driven by the private sector to support entrepreneurs, to support business growth, to support economic progress. So I listen to the concerns of people all the time, and of course, there are going to be people who feel like it's never enough, but we're doing a lot to support businesses in a very, very challenging economic climate right now through our work with Invest Ottawa. And then again, on the tourism side, we do a lot to support the hospitality industry by bringing more events to Ottawa, by bringing more tourists to Ottawa, by establishing these direct flights. So there's a lot of work that goes on to support the local economy.
Interesting. And I guess, do you want to tell more about what Invest Ottawa is actually up to? And maybe this could inspire some other cities on what they could be enacting in their programs, right?
Yeah, we don't want other cities to steal all our good ideas though. But look, Invest Ottawa does a lot to support small business owners and entrepreneurs as they're starting businesses. And in fact, before I became mayor, I did a lot of work through Invest Ottawa to support local entrepreneurs. They had a program where, somebody could book an appointment with somebody like me, an experienced entrepreneur, and sit down and chat about, how to get their business off the ground, how to incorporate, what to do to find their first location, all of just basic advice. They do a lot to support small businesses and entrepreneurs. And then they have particular strategies in growth areas, explosive growth areas like technology. We're working together with Invest Ottawa right now on a strategy for establishing Ottawa as a defense innovation hub. The federal government's about to spend a lot more money in defense as part of their NATO commitment. There are already a lot of companies in the defense sector in Ottawa, innovative companies that are doing great things around cybersecurity and AI and other technologies. And we want to see that industry grow in Ottawa. So Invest Ottawa is developing a strategy to work with the federal government, work with those companies on growing that industry in Ottawa. Even if you're not in the defense technology space or the defense innovation space, that will have an impact on your small business, because if there are more people working in high-paying jobs in Ottawa, they're going to eat out more. They're going to shop more. They're going to buy more cars. They're going to buy more furniture. They're going to do more things in the community. So what's good for Ottawa is good for every small business, and what's good for small business